Harassment of Russian citizens is commonplace in Europe since the war in Ukraine broke out. But Latvia is now going one step further. It is about to kick out hundreds of people from Latvia within the next 2 years. Most of them are elderly people aged between 65 and 75. This will escalate the tensions between NATO and Russia and further prolong the war in Ukraine. Hi and welcome, you watching India's World. We discuss geopolitics here. Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon for more interesting videos. Systemically, the Latvian government first declared 1/3 of its residents non-citizens or aliens. And now, by tweaking the laws, the government may soon start deporting them to Russia. But how did this happen and why is Latvia doing so? It all started in 1991 with the former Soviet Union or USSR breaking into 15 sovereign states. People living in those nations were given the respective citizenship under the zero-option approach. In 13 nations, registration of residence served as a sufficient basis for receiving the citizenship of the independent state automatically. But Latvia and Estonia refused to adopt this approach. Instead, they took a different route. Citizenship of Latvia was granted only to those residents who were citizens up to 17 June 1940 as well as their descendants. Those who had arrived in Latvian territory afterwards became second category residents of the country. This weird law turned around 40% of the Latvian population into non-citizens. Over the past decades, some of them gained Latvian citizenship under naturalization. Some are still living with a non-citizenship status, and some, mostly elderly people, have acquired Russian citizenship. Under Latvian laws, a citizen of Russia can acquire permanent residence in Latvia. That is why, even after acquiring Russian citizenship, those elderly people were able to live peacefully in Latvia. But now, those laws are drastically changing. In September last year, the Parliament of Latvia declared that Russian citizens living in Latvia on PR permits will not be able to avail the benefits after September 1 of this year. It has to be mentioned that the law passed retroactively for PR permits issued within the last 26 years. There was no justification for the hasty introduction of the modifications. There was no effect analysis or prior consultation. The goal of developing the law was tied to the requirement to boost national security. On the contrary, this action strongly resembles a provocation meant to inflame tensions with Russia and, as a result, erode Latvia's national security. In November last year, Latvia argued that Ukraine should be allowed to hit military targets in Russia to fend off the invasion threats. All in all, the country is making every effort possible to escalate tensions with Russia, and this is only going to complicate NATO's ties with the Russian Federation. Latvia is located right at Russia's doorstep. Any escalation with Russia is directly an existential threat to the country. It is highly likely that NATO is pumping courage in Latvia to go full-on anti-Russia. NATO is simply sacrificing Latvia for its own gains. The leadership of all Baltic nations must see through the pro-war agenda of NATO and its master, Joe Biden. This is only going to hurt the Baltic and Russian economies, while US will make the most out of it.
India's World, telling the right side of the story.